Welcome to Bible Bedtime Stories for Kids. The Parable of the Prodigal Son. Once upon a time, there was a kind and loving father who had 2 sons. They lived together on a beautiful farm with plenty of food, animals, and work to do. The father cared for his sons deeply and always wanted the best for them. One day, the younger son had a different idea for how he wanted to live his life. He came to his father and said, "Father, I want my share of your money now. I don't want to wait until I'm older. I want to go out and live my life." The father was sad. He did everything and gave everything for both sons. Yet his younger one wanted to leave and go away. But the father agreed. He gave the younger son his portion of the family's money. The son took the money, packed his bags, and left home, excited to see the world. At first, the younger son had lots of fun. He traveled to exciting places, made new friends, and spent his money on fancy clothes, big parties, and delicious food. But soon, he ran out of money. His new friends were not good people. They disappeared as soon as his money finished. He had no food, no home, and no one to help him. To survive, the younger son got a job feeding pigs. It was smelly, messy work, and he was so hungry, he even thought about eating the pig's food. That's when the son thought to himself, "What am I doing here? My father's servants have more and tastier food than this, and they live so much better than I do. I'll go back home and tell my father I'm sorry. Maybe he'll let me work as a servant on his farm." The younger son began the long walk back home to his father's house. He felt nervous and ashamed. What if my father doesn't forgive me? What if he's angry? But while the son was still far away, his father saw him coming down the road. The father was filled with joy and ran to meet his son. He hugged him tightly and said, "Welcome home, my son." The younger son said, "Father, I have made so many mistakes. I don't deserve to be your son. Please let me be your servant." But the father smiled and said, "Nonsense. You are my son, and you have come back to me. That's all that matters." The father called his servants and said, "Let's have a big celebration. Bring the best clothes for my son, and let's prepare a feast. My son was lost, but now he's found." Meanwhile, the older son was out working in the fields. When he came home and heard the music and laughter, he was surprised. "What's going on?" he asked. A servant replied, "Your brother has returned, and your father is throwing a party to celebrate." The older son frowned and refused to go inside. "I've worked hard for my father all these years, and he's never thrown me a party," he said. The father came out and said, "Son, everything I have is yours. But your brother was lost, and now he's found. Let's celebrate his return and be happy." The story of the prodigal son reminds us that God loves us no matter what. He wants us to live our lives together with Him and would love to give us everything. But even when we make mistakes, even when we go away from Him, He is always ready to forgive us and welcome us back with open arms.